in the games that Steph misses, Pat Spencer is better for them than Brandon Podziemski. I think it is true. I don't know that how you can argue it at this point. And then when Steph and Jimmy Butler are back, Podziemski is fine in that situation. He's not good as being the initial initiator. And guess what? Pat Spencer is pretty good at it.
Oh, Tim, how are you and what's going on?
I'm not doing very well, Mark. How you doing, Dibs? Yeah, I can't believe it. You are calling this accurately. Last night I was like, you know what? I don't really have to monitor this game. I certainly don't have to tweet about this game any longer. And I actually made a phone call, was talking with a friend, and then about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I said, you know what? I will call you back. I think I need to pay attention to this. And I'm glad it was really an interesting game. Obviously, Warriors don't win, but things, usually when Steph and Jimmy Butler are out, I can kind of phase in, phase out. And I did phase in and out and then really back in on that game.
Exactly. So where is the Pat Spencer experience going? They've got another 27 some odd games of activity to figure out what they want to do with him. How far away is he from sort of becoming in their plans, I guess?
Well, I mean, obviously he's on a two-way contract, as you mentioned, and Kerr mentions this frequently, because I think they are going to try to figure out how to get him on. They have 15 roster spots filled up. Steph Curry was number 15. They are right up against the second apron. They are hard capped there because they use their mid-level on Al Horford. They're going to have to do a 2-for-1, 3-for-1, something like that, I think, to open up a space for him. That is something I'm sure we can talk about. I think that, they are going to be active on the trade market. But they can't do anything. They got time with Spencer. 27 games is a lot. They could even mess around with it. And, it's hard to imagine now not having Pat Spencer activated on this team. But I think when Steph is back, the role is lessened. I think he's really important. He's really shown he's very important when Steph is not playing, just to be that initiator. And certainly when Steph and Butler aren't playing. But when games and they're back, maybe less so. Although I think he's a good player. I mean, Pat Spencer's won me over. My guy Marcus Thompson has been a Pat Spencer guy all along, and he's got over the hump for me. This guy can play, and I think the Warriors are going to try to figure out a way to get him on the full roster this season, and maybe try to get him, into some kind of 2-year deal so he's on the roster next year. We'll see. This is a new thing for them. They obviously had not planned for this, but hey, you got to react to a guy playing well. Specifically when Steph is missing the game. And he's going to miss more than another couple games probably, right? He's probably going to miss another 4, 5, 6, 7 games this season, maybe just out of common sense, maybe a little injury here or two. And then I think here's what we found out. And I don't want to make an incredible hot take judgment here, but in the games that Steph misses, Pat Spencer is better for them than Brandon Podziemski. And I don't think Brandon Podziemski's fans and Brandon Podziemski himself love hearing that. I think it is true. I don't know that how you can argue it at this point. And then when Steph and Jimmy Butler are back, Podziemski is fine in that situation. He's not good as being the initial initiator. And guess what? Pat Spencer is pretty good at it.
Who is good at that when those guys are out? Because we saw JK try to do it, and it felt to me, Tim, like it was the old Kuminga from last year where he's just trying to get he's trying to get to the mid-range, which, as you know, is the one shot you don't want to take.
Yeah, he's hesitant. I think his season changed when, he had been playing so well. We all noted it early in the season. He's with the situation. He's blending in well. At times he's taking over 2-3 possessions at a time. Then he hurt his knee while they were making this change anyway, pulling him out of the starting rotation. I don't think Kerr really was overly emotionally committed to JK in the starting lineup, but it had done well. And then Moody was back, and then there were other options. And then he hurts his knee, and they had to make they win those 2 big games in San Antonio. And it was noted. I don't think he liked that it was noted. It was noted by me. I'm pretty sure he did not like that it was noted by me. I know his agent did not like it was noted by me.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're 3 weeks later, and it feels similar. I think he's an amazing talent. I don't think it's best for him to be on the Warriors. I don't think it's best for the Warriors for him to be here. And I think we're all seeing it. Other teams like him a lot. That's great. I don't think the Warriors want to trade him at a discount. Maybe that's not what happens. But they're getting towards that situation where they got to figure out what they can get for him. And if they can, do they have to just trade him for something, or do they hold on to him and try to trade him for something more in the offseason? I'll just say, you know what? The reason why people reacted so strongly to me saying it 3 weeks, whenever those Spurs games wasn't because it was wrong. It's because they're just very sensitive about it. It's a sensitive issue. It's the real thing. You know me. I don't mind putting my finger on the third rail sometimes, and I did that time. Fine. I don't think I was wrong. And it's as this is developing, it just doesn't seem like it. Again, it could turn again, and I'll say it if it turns again. I don't know that this is going to work out with the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga. And I think we all could have predicted that in the offseason. But you did have to play it out.
Yeah.
And they still have to keep playing it out. It's not over. I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying that's where this is headed. It's been headed this way most of his Warriors career, right? I mean, it's just with ups and downs and up, but it always kind of returns to the mean. It returns to where everything flows to with, does he really fit here? And in the moments when he should be at his best, right? When Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler are not in the lineup, he's not good. And that's the roughest part, I think, for the Kuminga people is this should be when he has every chance and every right to take over, and he's receding further into the background. That's not great. That's not great for someone as talented as he is, someone who's as bright as he is, someone who wants to be great, is yearning to be great, wants to be great on this team, sometimes wants to be great and let the stars get out of his way. No, that's not going to happen. And then when they do get out of his way, when they're hurt, it doesn't happen either. Those are an interesting set of circumstances that probably would lead you to believe that this is not going to happen for him here.
So, yeah, a couple things there. First of all, Tim, you weren't wrong. So I was following that whole thing, and you were absolutely
a little big conflagration there.
I mean,
like,
it's
whatever.
It's like you said, though. It's touchy, and sometimes I think some of us don't even understand how it's gotten to this point, but it doesn't matter because it has. And so, like you just said something there at the end that I want to dig into. He wants to be great on this team. The one thing I still don't feel like we collectively know is whether or not he wants to be here. And the agent's behavior, especially recently, call it what you want. He ripped Steve Kerr on Twitter. I don't see how that's productive, certainly for the Warriors, but even for Jonathan. What's going on with that group? What do they want in a perfect world?
They want JK to be a star, which is fine. I appreciate that. I told Aaron Turner on Twitter, I understand your point of view. It's not going to happen at this moment. It's not happening when he's been given the chance to do it. At some point, you have to say it's not going to happen. I'm going to separate the agent from Jonathan. At some point, you can't. It is his agent. He's working for Kuminga, but he's a pop-off, fine. Maybe that's going to help. I think it might have helped him get some more money from the Warriors, which is his job, all the good. I don't know what popping off on Twitter now, once he's gotten paid, is all about, but fine. I don't think he's getting Steve Kerr fired, right? I don't think he's getting Steph Curry to defer to Jonathan Kuminga. I don't think he's going to get this thing turned over to Jonathan Kuminga style and have sign a 5-year, $250 million. I don't think any of that's happening. So, okay. I think Kuminga wants to be a star, and I know he does, which is great. That's what players should be. I don't know that he knows exactly what it's going to take to get there. I mean, we can see it. He stumbles through some of this, and then he has a great moment. That put-back dunk, even in last night's game, was incredible. He can do things not many people can do. Can he do it for 20 straight plays and 7 straight minutes? He has not proven he can do that. And in this situation, at the end of a dynasty, you kind of need him to do it. And is he any better now than he was 2 years ago? 3 years ago, any more consistent? Maybe. But now his contract is such that the Warriors can use it in a trade. That was the whole point of what they did with his contract in the offseason. So it just comes to the point where you have to make a decision on something. Finally, they put it off last year. Maybe they should have made a call and just said, you know what, let's just move him in a sign and trade as a restricted free agent. They didn't. Okay, I understand. Joe Lacob loves him and loves his potential, but he loved James Wiseman's potential too, and they traded him for I shouldn't say for very little, for Gary Payton a second back. He just wasn't a huge value, but hey, that's what it was. They might have to make the same decision with Kuminga. You're not trading him for 2 first-round picks, or trading him for Giannis, or trading him for all these other things with Trey Murphy. I don't know that that's going to happen. Maybe, but I think it's heading towards, do you make a convenience trade, which would be for a CJ McCollum or for a DeMar DeRozan. I know they don't want to do that. They don't want to sacrifice that value. Then you have to make that decision, and then you carry him into the offseason, possibly, against some of his wishes. And then you go from there. I think you ask what he wants. He wants 20 shots a game, and he wants to play 35 minutes a game. That's what he wants. That you can tell. It's in his body language. It's in everything he does. That's fine. You should want that when you're a basketball player, especially with his skill set. He hasn't earned it with the Warriors. Just hasn't. And if you're going to earn it, you're going to do it in the games where Steph doesn't play. And that has not happened at all this season. So, again, they're running out of time on this to just be able to put it off. He's 23, still very young, but they're contractually and situationally running out of time. It just tells you, again, I don't want to make sweeping decisions when they don't have to do them, but this is heading down that road, and it started down that road 3 weeks ago, and there's very little reaction against me when I say it now, which is almost the exact same thing I said 3 weeks ago, so that's okay. Sometimes it takes a while to congeal, and I think we're seeing it.